Sports Fest Rick Horrow inside the $2.6 trillion business of sports. Another in our ongoing series of deal makers around the country. Todd Gloria, the incoming president of the United States Conference of Mayors, 37th mayor of San Diego since 2020. He's been on the council since 2008, and he's risen through the ranks, and he was obviously a big deal in the whole Charger controversy. He's doing just fine. A new arena is in the works, potentially for a hockey or basketball, and ultimately the Padres doing well at Petco Park. Does he miss the Chargers? Could it have been done differently? You got to hear him. But at the end of the day, when he replaces Bob Silner, who was on the way out as a mayor, the mayor's office had some challenges. He's done some things relative to affordable housing and homeless and legally enforceable climate action plan. There's room for public-private partnerships and all of that too. I think you got to hear them. At the end of the day, there were about $8 billion under contract pre-COVID around the country for facilities. Now, in the pipeline is over 31. So San Diego is not an NFL city, but certainly cities around the country are taking the cue and doing facilities, renovated or new. And when you listen to Mayor Gloria, both from his perspective as a deal maker, as a community activist, as a politician that knows his way around San Diego and the country, and as the incoming president of the U.S. Conference of Mayors starting this next summer, you'll understand why. Here's Todd Gloria.
Facilities of Major League, but $30 billion of public money committed. You're not part of that, but you've been part of this process.
Yes.
And so is there room in this whole world of public-private partnerships for sports entertainment, partnership funding, and the priorities you outline?
Yes. So I think of it kind of this way. We're a proud military town. We're a proud tourist destination. One of the things that's happened over my lifetime is we went from those two pillars to a third one that is kind of a knowledge-based economy, innovation-based. Folks are doing life sciences, advanced manufacturing. The way you keep smart people like that in your town is to have a high quality of life. And that is measured in a variety of ways, to include these venues that you're talking about. And so I think we've done it well in San Diego. Petco Park's best ballpark in the nation. City of San Diego owns that. I get about 30 cents on the dollar to tell you to go there. So please order a middle ears, all hot dogs as you want.
I'll buy an extra a fuzzy bear.
Thank you. I could use that money. So that's, we're working currently on a convention center modernization effort. The voters gave us the right to do that. I'm working right now with the Conkey Group on building a new sports arena in our Midway area. Reasons we're doing that is that's economic development, that's growing our tax base, that's resources for the city's budget, but it also is, people come for the weather, but then they look around and they realize we have an incredible quality of life, and then folks choose to stay, kind of like my grandparents did, right? That's how you win the future in an economy where people really can live anywhere. If you have an internet connection, you probably can do many of the jobs that many of my taxpayers do, and I got to fight for them against jurisdictions that may have lower housing costs or whatever else. I know they don't have better weather. All we have in that, but I got to give them a high quality of life, and these venues are one of the ways to signal this.
And with the Padres, it's like spare no expense. Let's figure out how to beat those Dodgers no matter what, right? And so I assume you're a Padre fan.
Oh, well, absolutely. You got to be. We're in LA right now, so I feel a little uncomfortable.
No. I did it for nature. Oh, wait. This won't run until after you escape. Okay. So we're gonna be okay. But as far as baseball is concerned, it is interesting. The world at large and mayors at large, when they understand the business issues at stake, the Milwaukee Brewer mayor feels a little bit differently than Mayor Bass in LA. And, the mayor of New York or otherwise. So the whole revenue sharing, labor issue, public sector people ought to have a stake in those negotiations, don't you think?
Oh, no question. We have in San Diego.
Right.
Whether it's the new Snapdragon Stadium that does Major League Soccer, both men's and women's, to Petco Park from all the years ago, to what we're doing now. These are usually involve public votes of the people of our city. Definitely involves the mayor and the city council. And when we can do that, I mean, it's what you said. It is a business. People like my dad, who's a sports fanatic, he doesn't really understand or appreciate it. Like, Dad, this is a business. And As mayor, my responsibility is to check my team allegiance off to the side and make sure that we're making the best possible deal for San Diego. Again, acknowledging it's not just the dollars and cents, although that's important. It's also that quality of life component.
And the competitive nature. I see you mayors for the last 30 years when I've been involved in this, sitting around the table talking about taking a franchise away from each other. But that's competition like you would for an auto plant or a widget factory, right?
We're all friends,
Yeah.
but there is a healthy competition. Again, resources are not abundant. I mean,
By the way, that's exactly what team owners say until they beat the hell out of you on the field.
I hadn't thought about that, but yeah, there is a similarity that's there, and I think that we can certainly do that work better and more harmony because when they play us off each other, that's not good.
Right.
But that said, I recognize there's only so many franchises, there's only so many investment dollars, there's only so many talent, right, that's out there, and really across all industries, and so we do compete for businesses and for investment and for motion picture filming. I mean, these are all things that we're constantly competing against. What I know though is that when San Diego competes, we typically win. We are the home of Comic-Con. We were recently able to recruit the TED conference to San Diego. We're one of 3 cities in the world that's currently a finalist for the Invictus Games. So we are competing, we're winning. And sports is a huge part of that. We're hosting NASCAR later this year. We did WWE last fall. And each time we're selling these venues out, people want this product, and we should work in a way to do it that supports and uplifts our city.
And you got a major problem with the weather. Your weather sucks. I don't know what you can do about that.
That's that climate change.
Yeah, the climate plan is on here. Let's talk about youth sports for a minute. I assume, knowing what I know about teams and other mayors, the whole idea of affordable facilities for kids in all aspects of sports is very important for any mayor, whether they have 2, 3, 4, or no major league professional sports franchise.
Yeah, we generally provide park and recreation services, no matter what kind of team situation you may have. Those of us that are blessed with teams like San Diego Wave FC or Padres or others, they tend to invest in this work, and they whether it's a small scale kind of community improvement to an existing park to providing jerseys for all the kids. I mean, it is a way to create a little energy and excitement. But the baseline business, one of our core services, is park and recreation.
Yeah. I'm going to trap you on camera, but it's no Pulitzer-winning trap. I've been asked over the last couple of years to be the national chairman of the Urban Debate Network, and we're turning an additional component of that with sports. So junior high school debaters won't just win national championships focusing on national debt or nuclear proliferation, which is great, but for 14-year-olds, maybe not. Athletes getting paid, franchise relocation, all of those issues. Sports makes debate cool. Debate makes sports inclusive. And I found out that the high school associations all over the country include esports and debate as part of their sports. So LA has a prolific chapter. San Francisco does. We're having events and tournaments. Want to go down to San Diego? Would we be welcome?
Yeah. You tell me San Francisco's doing this?
Yes.
Sometimes they get confused. I think they're the second largest city in California. No, we are literally double the size. So, this. I think about what it was for me growing up with sports, and think in these times where we're so polarized that everyone seems to be at each other's throats. When I see us most unified is at a sporting event.
Dan, agree to disagree and hug it out.
Absolutely. And so I think more than ever, this is very, very important, both at the professional level as spectators and in promoters, but at our youth level where, occupy our kids, teach them teamwork and, resiliency and the kinds of stuff that sports provide. So happy to talk some more about that.
We're going to wait till you get back to San Diego, but you're going to be getting a call, needless to say.
Sign with me.
All right. So we're almost at the end, and I'm saving the last piece for the end. Do you miss the Chargers?
I do miss them because we're a big city, and having an NFL franchise is a hallmark of a big city. But that said, there's not a lot of love loss that's there. That departure was poorly executed. It's broke a lot of people's hearts. My dad, who is a working class, hardworking guy who, worked all week to raise his family and then would spend his Sundays rooting for the Chargers. They left him in the dust and, went up the road and, I don't think they're faring so well in their new venue. A lot of folks have moved on back home. We've been loyal, and that loyalty was not returned. And it continues to hurt. That said, I think we will always be a place where we would aspire to once again host an NFL franchise. But in the meantime, we have an incredible baseball team. We've recruited professional men's and women's soccer, and we're very proud. And those teams are going well. The Aztecs continue to impress. We're a thriving sports
Do you
city.
have a personal stake with the Aztecs, or was it the other San Diego you went to?
I went to University of San Diego.
Oh, see, you got to separate them a little bit because we both, your team is pretty good. Men's basketball once in a while, but the Aztecs otherwise.
Yes. So, I mean, they continue to, we built this new stadium in our Mission Valley, or where Qualcomm was historically. And, you have the Wave, the San Diego FC, the Aztecs, you had lacrosse, rugby. They're all and San Diegans are showing up. And I guess that goes back to the point about the charters. We continue to show up and support our teams, which is why it was such a head scratcher. So to basically leave us the way that they did. But I want you folks to know we are in a golden age of sports in San Diego right now. Petco continues to shine. Snapdragon is brand new. We're going to host some Olympic Games, soccer games there in 2028. Working on that new sports arena that I mentioned. And I'd like to think that if you build it, they will come. We built Snapdragon. We got those soccer franchises. When we build a new indoor arena, world-class, 16,000 seats, voted City Council in just a few weeks, I'd like to think that might yield us an NBA or NHL team. And given Mr. Conkey's involvement, I don't think that's a misplaced hope.
Well, the beauty of what we're talking about, and then we'll wrap it up, is that L.A., Houston, and Cleveland ended up wanting quickly and paying a much higher price to replace the teams that left. St. Louis said, good riddance, maybe eventually they'll deal with it. Vancouver in basketball said we never had a chance. Cities respond differently to teams that leave. The beauty of what you're talking about is you believe it when you say that you've got other alternatives, and it's not just sports, it's entertainment, it's quality of life, it's youth sports, and it's a whole host of others.
And the beach.
Oh, yeah, I forgot the beach.
San Diegans don't want for things to do, and that goes back to my economic development strategy. When we keep our workers and we give them housing they can afford, we get them to and from work on streets in our Pueblo, and we give them a host of great options in their spare time to go live a high-quality life, and that could be hiking Cows Mountain, going to Torrey Pines State Beach, or going to a Padres game. We have everything, and that's part of why I think we're winning, right? In this difficult time where many cities are challenged, San Diego continues to stand out. What I get as mayor, what I always get at these conferences where I'm surrounded by hundreds of mayors, when people hear, oh, you're going to mayor San Diego, the reaction always, I love San Diego. And that's a brand that nobody else can beat. And that's why I think we'll continue to compete and win on a global scale.
Well, I will tell you unequivocally, I love San Diego. And what we did off camera, I got the invitation to Torrey Pines, to some nice dinners, to Petco Park and all. And no, I didn't really say that. But U.S. Conference of Mayors in really good hands as he succeeds. Mayor Gloria succeeds to the next level there. Really appreciate your time. This has been fantastic. Sports Fester Rick Horrow, speak with you soon.
This is On the Record. A big week, post-Olympics, post-Super Bowl, post-golf tournaments, heading into a major part of the golf season. But also, obviously, the NBA All-Star Game. Let's see how it all shakes out. The opening drive. Number one, U.S. wins the men's hockey gold. Don't forget the women. 2-1 overtime. It's tremendous. 12 gold, 33 total. The highest number of medals that America has won on Olympics they call offshore. And the last day rush brought some real excitement to hockey as far as the spin-off is concerned. 41 saves, 18 for 18 penalty kills. What an incredible win for Hellebuck and the men. And let's not forget the women. And by the way, let's not forget viewership. 7.7 million during overtime. Now, that dwarfs the 125.6 million for Super Bowl, but NBC had a good couple of weeks. That's number one. Number two, the Epstein files. They prompt review of a few sports facilities and donations. The Steve Tisch Sports and Fitness Center at Tufts, the UCLA Wasserman Football Center, opened in 2017 after $50 million raised. The Dubin Family Performance Center at Stony Brook with Glenn Dubin, and the Les Wexner Football Complex, named in 2007 at Ohio State after a donation from Wexner's wife Abigail. All in question. See how it all shakes out over time. Number three, Tara Moore sues the WTA for $20 million alleging negligence in a doping case from contaminated meat. She claimed they failed to understand that there were boldenon and nandrolone in those meats. That, she says, is the reason for her suspension. 145th in singles, 77th ranked in doubles, 650,000 career earnings. You can understand why a suspension, especially a 4-year suspension, means a lot to her. We'll see that in the courts. Number 3. And number 4, the NBA advances some significant tanking reform discussions, not just a $500,000 fine on the Jazz and a $100,000 fine on the Pacers, but they're talking about reworking the lottery so only a certain number of picks get them, legitimately equalizing draft positions so there is no incentive for tanking, and on and on and on. But Adam Silver, as David Stern beforehand, dead set on tackling this issue. Is number 4. And number 5, All-Star Week. Let's not forget this. 8.5 million viewers on NBC. Remember the Olympic number, a little lower, but look at the context of that last week. Daytona, a big number, 1.4 million on FS1 for the Truck Series race before the 500. The NBA All-Star viewership was the culmination of a week that was massive promotion over all platforms. It's going to pay off in the long run. That's the opening drive. Let's look at the 5 to watch over the next couple of weeks. Busy sports time. How about golf? Jon Rahm may lose his 2027 Ryder Cup eligibility due to an unpaid fine, about $3 million. It's big. But the DP World Tour has said we're willing to give you a compliance exemption just like the 8 other players who were whole with us. You're not. The fine is important. He refused to pay, they say. So he joined Live Golf in 2023. The exemption and the eligibility not granted until it's resolved, meaning the Ryder Cup is up in the air. We're going to have to see how that all shakes out. Certainly we haven't heard the last of that. That's number 1. Number 2, the Bears have 2 parallel tracks. The Springfield, Illinois track, which we'll talk about Arlington Heights, downtown Chicago, and anywhere else, and also the Indiana track, property tax breaks and other incentives for Hammond, Indiana, and anywhere in the northwest corridor near Chicago. At the end of the day, Indiana, as you know, already has a publicly funded facility for football in Indianapolis. Doesn't mean they can't afford it. Just means interesting times ahead. That's number 2. Number 3, the Mexican Soccer League postponed 4 matches after cartel leader El Mencho was killed in Guadalajara. Yet 4 major matches and others around it were postponed or canceled indefinitely as cartel supporters blocked cars, set fire, and a whole bunch of other stuff that you shouldn't have happening just a few months before Guadalajara hosts World Cup games. So we'll see how that all shakes out, obviously, number 3. Number 4, the 1909 T206 Honus Wagner card sells for $5.1 million at Golden Auction. It was announced publicly in December. It's a $6.6 million card in August 21. At that point, the highest. This is high as well. At the end of the day, it's been in the same family for 116 years, but let's remember that trading cards are bigger than ever. Don't throw stuff out in your basement before you start looking. That's number 4. Number 5, the Cavaliers and Guardians are looking for some public money after the pot that was legislatively, anyway, created to keep the Browns in Cleveland, at least in the suburbs. $105 million combined application from the Cavaliers and Guardians will allow for 25% construction and a $420 million combined project, $412 million specifically identified. Cavaliers, future WNBA franchise, Guardians issues. It's not guaranteed. It's tied up in the courts. But at the end of the day, this is the pool that will be used by Ohio, if it does pass, for all of those sports facilities all over the state. Again, see how it all shakes out. Like to thank Callie Kazire for putting this all together. Obviously, a big week, big weeks to come. Sports professor Rick Horrow inside the $2.6 trillion business of sports. You're on the record. Speak with you soon.